Hey everybody, let me know how the audio is this time. I know last time it was a little rough, so in the beginning at least. Let me know how the audio is, and we're gonna get going here in a few seconds. This one's gonna be a little crazy, a little hectic, and definitely on the fly. What's better than that though? All right, let's turn on these lights, huh? Let's get some lights on. A luxury, you know, a luxury. All right, how about I turn this off and I do, wow. What's going on everyone? Welcome. What's up, what's up? Thanks so much guys. Frank, Vagar, Brian, Ronald, Rick, Kevin. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. It's Monday. This is episode 2 of Live View, which means I'm going live every Monday. I'm available to do so for you guys, where we just kind of like hang out, try some gear out, show you some stuff I think that's cool, answer some of your questions, and a lot of the answers are basically like a mini live demo, right? Like I'll do it right here in front of you guys, kind of. So this one came about, this was actually gonna be the first episode, but I didn't get all the pieces together in time for it. And this one I'm pretty amped about because I get to dust off some old skills I had. I get to play with some gear I've had forever. Some gear that was a pinnacle in my career somewhere at some point. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give props where props are due. Daniel Norton did the analog photo day thing, right? And he pulled out his 4x5. Well, I had to pull out my 4x5. In fact, I'm actually going to pull up, I'm gonna put the link to Daniel's stream in the chat so you guys can check that out on another time. But Adorama analog, let me see if that shows up. Yep, it shows up right away. Perfect. I mean, it was this, if you guys are wondering, we shot 4x5 and we had people come out of the crowd, try it out, shoot paper negatives. Daniel used my Fresnel lens that we used last week, and now we're gonna use my 4x5. So let me put this link in the chat for you guys so that you can go check that out. I think it deserves a bunch more views than it's been getting, I'll say that. Just like this channel needs more subscribers than it's getting. Hit subscribe if you're new here. This is not Adorama TV. This is Adorama Events. It's a new channel. So let's grow this channel together. Vega, what's going on? Leon, Ronald, is that the beauty dish with the dent? No, it's not. The famous beauty dish with the dent and the weird brown tape that stuck to it for a millennium, that's at me and Daniel's studio. That is a sacred beauty dish. That thing has some kind of magic to it. I can't explain it. It's one of these things. But the cool story about this beauty dish though is in the old event space, the original one that Daniel really pioneered, we used his beauty dish forever. And when we had a chance to rebuild this place, I brought in my brand new one that I never ever really use because I always steal Daniel's. Well, I pulled mine out and now my beauty dish is for the reboot of the of this event space. So it's kind of like a cool little lore story that I like so much. It's pretty cool. Brian's saying, I love the demos. What happened here? Oh, I know what happened here. I love the demos you guys do here at Adorama. I learned so much to elevate my game from you guys. Well, we can't do this without you guys, right? Don't forget that. No matter how much stuff I put in this event space, how many things I install, whatever I swap out, upgrade, change, bits and pieces and parts, you're the final piece always. We can't do any of this unless you guys are part of it. So that's why we appreciate all the likes, the comments, the subscribes, the sharing of the videos around are a huge help. Thank you guys for joining us. And hopefully some of you guys can come to an event that's here in person so we can come hang out, say what's up, be part of the, you know, community, so to speak. And hey, Chrissy, what's going on? Glad you could join us. All right, so this is a weird one today. Very, very weird one. Of course, I got Quinn with me. Let's all say what's up to Quinn. She's a busy girl, but she made time for this. When I told her what we're doing today, she was like, I'm there. I was like, and that's a good one. That's solid. I got to dust off this. One of my favorite things I ever had. The best large format 4x5 camera I've ever owned, right? So it's not built right now. We're gonna build it live right now. And then what I'm gonna do is the cool part. Even though that's cool, but it gets cooler because we're gonna actually adapt my GFX100ii, 100 megapixel, 102 megapixel medium format digital camera as the back, which means we'll get a cropped image, but I'll be able to do TTL strobe, real-time exposure, which means I don't have to even do any math for the bellows factor. And on top of that, I got this long 14-inch rail for all the macro you could think of. The longer the rail, the closer you can focus. Of course, the longer the bellows get, the more light you lose. But that's why I don't have to do the bellows factor math equation, real-time exposure, plus TTL for the strobe. And I can feed it right into the stream for you guys. That means I can give you guys a live feed out of this through this. And I can even do video. So I've never done video through a large format camera. My mom is texting me. Great. Don't know, didn't need that now. Video through a large format setup. So essentially what's gonna happen here is with the adapter, this camera will treat this entire camera as a manual lens. So all the exposure, the shutter, everything is gonna still happen at the GFX. We're just gonna take off the ground glass I got going on here, and we're gonna put on a graph lock adapter to G-mount and mount this entire camera to GFX. You guys wanna get into this? Does this sound cool to you guys? I feel like this chat's weirdly quiet. What's up, Jose? What's going on, Skip? Thanks for joining me. This is gonna get pretty cool. So this is the case that I've always kept it in, this mystical 14A case that I found on Canal Street. I'm not kidding you. This case is straight out of the garbage. Canal Street, circa 2006. And I bought this camera from a guy who was like a legacy guy here in New York. Stavros Panopoulos, if you're still around, man, what's going on? I know I'm gonna send you this link, so hopefully you see this, because I know you wonder what happened to your camera, right? Well, I used it a lot, and I shot a lot of instant film through it, like peel apart. Did a lot of stuff for commercial reasons out of this camera. A long time ago, this is getting personal, but a long time ago, I was seeing a girl who had vitiligo where she lost pigment in random parts of her skin and her hair. So I shot her eyelashes that were turning white with this camera. I shot all of the spots on her skin with this camera. It was really cool. You really get a chance to slow down, really think about your shots, compose them. Your interaction with your subject is different, everything. So Jose Hernandez is asking, Seth, is that using configuration not the same as using macro bellows? It's kind of that, except on a massive scale. It's kind of a similar thing. Essentially, because this is a long rail, the longer these bellows can stretch out, the farther that lens can get away from the exposure plane, which in this case will be the GFX, the closer I can focus. So it's kind of an easy way to think about when you're manually focusing this, that you keep your back stable, and the more you move the lens side away from you, the closer it's trying to focus. And you'll be surprised how fast you get when you do this. It's pretty cool. So this is gonna be a pretty wild one. Let's open up the 14A case, because there's a bunch of stuff in here I wanted to walk you through from that era of my career, basically. But I was getting a little like weirded out when I opened this thing up, because it's been a few years. Every now and then I check back on it, and I'll do some paper negative once in a rare blue, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a minute, so I'm gonna be shaking off some rust. What lens are you gonna be using? Good question. We're gonna get to that when I get into the case as we build this camera, okay? Photo nerd here reporting for inspiration. Roger Manning, at ease. All right, let's do this. So this is the shadiest packed case ever. But in this case, before I get to the lens, I always kept one of these, which is a loop, because the loop, actually I don't need this part of it. The loop was awesome because you put it on the ground glass to focus and make sure you were really, really spot on. It was almost like having magnification in the back of your LCD camera when you're shooting digital. Same thing here, and it still has, this is actually Stavros's, it still has Stavros' name on there. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but it still says Panopoulos on it. Stavros, you legend. And by the way, I bought this from Stavros probably around 2007, 2008 maybe, and it was on Craigslist, and I had to like interview to buy it. He didn't just like say, hey, come on by. He's like, why don't you come over and we'll talk. It wasn't like a sure thing. He was like, hey man, what are you gonna do? What kind of stuff do you shoot? I showed him some of my work. And I bought this camera. I bought a Kodak 4x5 that was like a kind of a Frankenstein. I actually gave that to Toots, Jose Tudaveras, if you ever follow him, a great photographer. And I bought off of him a Hasselblad 503, I believe, with a bunch of T-Star lenses. What's up, David Bergman? Thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate you. The other thing I have in here, which was really cool, which is what I shot a lot of stuff on, was instant backs. So these are 4x5, And the smaller, I think these are 2x3 or something, like 2.5x3. I forgot what the size of, oh, I feel like a sham now. This is the peel apart you guys all know and love. This is the 4x5 peel apart. And these were what I shot a lot with because you could shoot instant and still get a negative out of it because you could shoot tight 55, or if you shot FP100C or 669 or any of those films, you could actually bleach the back of the part you peel up and people throw away. If you bleach the back of it with like a bleach bathroom cleaner, the black melts away and it actually becomes a transparency. So you got an instant print and you got yourself a negative. So I did a lot of that when I was rocking this camera, and I had a bunch of these backs. I'm down to only 2 because the film's hard to come by, so I let some things go. The other thing I had in here was this. If you're ever shooting 4x5 cameras and you want to save a bunch of money, instead of buying sheets of film, you would buy 120 or 220 film, load it in here, and you'd let it crop the image, but you'd get a lot more images out of a session because you could do it on a roll. So that was one of the things I did. Love how Stavros made sure it was sold to someone who's going to respect and use it right. You know what? This was ridiculously common. I can't tell you how many times I had to basically make sure I was the right guy to buy the gear. My first Speedotron Blackline Power Pack, I had to interview for that thing. I couldn't just buy it from the guy. It's different from going to a used department, but this guy was like, what are you doing with it? Let me know. They want to make sure you know how to work it. They want to make sure it's still going to be alive for a few more years instead of you destroying it. It's kind of crazy. It's this lost part, I feel, of our industry, if that makes sense. The other thing I had in here was extra bellows. And this was actually used more as a lens shade. So you'd actually put this past here and you would make sure you could cover the lens if you had to. I rarely ever needed to, but always kept it on me if I needed to. And then there was this, which is the crown jewel, right? It still has Stavros' name on there. Love this guy. Even funnier story. You ready for this? This is the craziest part of the story. Craziest part. I went to his studio and it turned out to be across the hall from Daniel Norton's studio. And then I ended up sharing the studio with Daniel. And then Stavros left the building and then left New York. But it's just kind of crazy how when I was in my younger years, gathering all this gear and doing all these crazy things, I went to this place to buy this, interview to buy this, bought it. Years later, I come back and I'm part of a studio across the hall. Just one of the cool things, and I guess it's one of those things that makes it easier to just love the community aspect of this. There's 75 of you guys in the chat, only 30 likes. If you guys could hit like, I'd really appreciate it. So this is a Kodak commercial lens. Wait till I show you this. I've had this, I know I'm taking forever. I've had this repaired twice. Both times, the repair shop tried to buy it from me instead of repairing it. And I was like, no, fix it. And I swore the second time they were gonna call me saying they couldn't fix it and try to buy it off me, but they ended up fixing it anyway. The shutter, I mean, I really worked the hell out of the shutter. This is a Kodak 14-inch f6.3 commercial lens on a number 5 ILEX shutter. Can you guys see this? So what's cool about this shutter though is it's auto cocking, right? So if you guys watch Daniel's stream, he had to cock it every time he shot a frame. With this, let me see if I can show you. You don't have to cock it. You can just, this cable release is a little weird, but it's just ready to go again and again and again. Can you see that? I don't know if you guys can even see that. See how it's just like ready to go and I can shoot again? Awesome. It was just awesome. Of course, when we're doing this though, what we're about to do, I'm gonna have to do this, which is hit this switch and open up the lens completely. So this is a 14-inch lens, which in translation, right? In translation, if I'm just gonna skip everything and go right to like full frame equivalencies, this is kind of in the realm of like a 28 millimeter. So it's actually like a wider angle feeling lens. So a lot of you guys that go like, I see you doing all the portrait work with wide angles. I've kind of always leaned on wide angle lenses. It's always been the way my brain sees things, the way I lean into things closer, makes me want to go wider. And because this is a long rail, I could go wide and get really close. The problem we're gonna run into today we're gonna lose all of that wide angle because we're gonna crop this 4x5 plane down. Remember, these are 4x5 film holders that I carry. Hold on, let me show you this. I color coded a bunch of my stuff, and I actually got the color coding from Stavros. I remember, actually, was it Stavros? Who did I assist? They used to color code the side of their film hold. I can't remember. But I would color code to know which ones I used, which ones I didn't, which ones were color, which black and white they were. And for those of you who don't know, I'd be crazy about keeping these cleans because you never want dust on 4x5 film, right? Just like you don't want it on a sensor. You would open this up, take your shot, your film would be in there. But you would have to load it in complete black. And the way you would know what side to load is when you picked up the sheet of film in the corner, there would be codes. There would be like a half a circle, a triangle, a half a circle, or squares, and every code was the type of film. But if you felt that corner here and slid it in here, you knew that you were hitting the emulsion side so that you weren't loading your film backwards. And I remember in pitch black just feeling for those corners and sliding it in, flipping this closed, sliding this, and then you lock it with the twist over here. And there's note things here that I've never seen anyone not destroy. So like, I don't know, this one says 120 on it. I don't know what I was saying about that, but that's kind of what I did with these, right? Well, today we're bypassing all of this. Coffee with Stavros. I'd love to have Stavros on, but he's not in New York anymore, and I gotta get in touch with him for when he is, and we'll throw him on here. Stavros was showing me these amazing setups. He once did an 11x14 shot of it from a tabletop position with so many bellow factors going on. He was shoving watt seconds of light that you can't even fathom the amount of power he was pushing through that, but that's what it was back then, you know? So we're gonna build this camera so that it is the camera it's supposed to be, but the twist we're throwing on today is the part that you can buy right now. This thing is available. What is going on here? This thing is available from, what is going on here? Why does this do this to me every time I go live? This part right here is available today. So this is going to be a graph lock adapter to G-mount. So I'm going to mount my GFX100ii to this camera as if the whole camera is just a giant lens, and it is awesome. You can shoot video through it. You can shoot horizontal, vertical. You can shoot TTL, real-time exposure. It's awesome. You just are going to deal with a crop, obviously, because if this is the size of 4x5, this right here, this medium format's going to be, you know, pretty much smaller than that. So I don't know how far back we're going to have to get Quinn, but it's going to be a good amount of distance. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you. I'm doing this in front of you guys. I also think it's kind of cool to show you guys how to build a 4x5. So when you have a, whoops, oh my God, all right, let me move a bunch of stuff so I don't knock anything expensive or that I can never get again over. So let me put this over here. And now that I did that, I'll forget that it's over there and I'll walk right into it. So with 4x5, let me see if you guys can see this. Let me relax this. So this right here is what's locking things in. You can slide it left or right, and when it's in the proper position, both sides are locked. So when I slide this over to open up and remove the back, it's when I'm in the middle position that it's going to lock both sides. So I can actually remove this, which is what we're gonna wanna do, but right now I wanna keep it together and then we'll put the adapter on last, okay? I have these levels here that let me know what's going on levels-wise. Of course, you've got the usual suspects. You've got your swings and tilts, you know? Oh boy, this is a bit, you got your tilts, right? You can raise it higher or lower, right? And you can swing and tilt it. What that's gonna let you do is a couple things. One, it'll give you like this weird keystoning ability. And two, it'll let you really warp and change the depth of field because the plane is getting shifted and moved. It's really cool. It's definitely something that, think of a tilt shift lens, right? That people use for architecture, same kind of thing here, right? Let me make sure everything's tight on here. And there's measurements, there's numbers so you can figure out what's going on. Now, let's put these bellows on. I'm gonna slide them in. I'm gonna move the thing over. Come on. and then I'm going to slide it back so that it is locked, in. Come on. You know, I really wish this was shorter. This is not easy doing while I'm talking. Hang on a second, guys. Any questions while I'm going at what tripod head? So this tripod is just one I found around here. It's called Colorado, and it has a ball head on it, which I like using ball heads a lot. But hydrostatic is really like the type of head I like using the most. Daniel knows a lot about that. All right, now let's close it. Cool. So now I've got bellows and I've got ground glass. But you can see that the longer it goes, the more I get this sag here. And I used to have a stanchion that would go here to pick this up because you could run into some weird vignetting issues. Right now, this tripod is already loose, so let me tighten it before we have a big problem. It's really not that heavy. It can get crazy depending on the lens you put in there, whatever else you build on top of this thing for sure. Usually I would like a tripod head that has more surface area on the plate. This is not the biggest tripod head in the world. It is a sturdy tripod, it's carbon fiber, so it's got a lot, it's really stiff. This, I just wanna make sure is ridiculously tight. You guys okay in there? You got pretty quiet. So we're gonna put this on here and we're gonna slide this through and tighten this. Okay, and then the key is when you wanna move it, don't just move it, loosen the ball head. Otherwise, the only thing that's gonna loosen up is the 1/4-20 screw that's under there. Okay, so now let's mount that lens, right? Look at this giant cavity we got going on here. And if you wanna make it less, like a little less unruly, if whatever you wanna call it, shrink the bellows down. Compact it down so that you have more of a centered balance point. Nothing shaking all over the place, but you're still gonna have if you have a long rail like this, it's still a long rail. Just know that you can change out the rail, you can add to the rail, you can take it beyond the rail if you want. It wasn't this one, but I had one that had a 1/4-20 underneath it, so I could take it beyond the rail and mount it to another tripod. So that was really cool. This is gonna go, let me just triple check that everything, there is some dust on the inside, which isn't really gonna affect much, but if I'm doing this, let's do this. So I'm gonna take off the front element really quick and just take a look at it. I know I should have been more prepared, right guys? Someone in the comments is gonna be like, you should have been more prepared. Well, I'll give you your money back, okay? How's that? There we go, a lot cleaner. And don't forget that the threads on these lenses are super fine. It's almost like a clock. And I know this because my grandfather from Greece was a clock builder. So the first job he got here when he got to America, New York, building and fixing clocks. All right, so made in Holland, look at that. Let's put this in here. I'm gonna slide it in and we're gonna lock it. And now it's in there. That's simple, right guys? So this is it. Everything else is up to you. You know, you've got to, like I said, what I usually tend to do is I stretch this out here, keep this stable until I need to move it, and then everything, I just keep everything at the lens to move until I need the extra movement, right? When we shoot, we want to take away variables, right? One of the variables you're going to run into is front and back working at the same time. Keep the back stable, work the front just like you would a lens on a camera until you need more bellows, you need more stretch, you need more shift, you need more tilt, stuff like that. So, you know, don't think of it as not being prepared. Think of it as being ready to show how a pro troubleshoots. Thanks, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. I guess I'm just really sensitive to the hate comments lately because I've just been dealing with a lot of them. That said, let's talk about adapting the back of this, right? This I actually think is probably one of the cool designs of the older cameras. So anytime can you guys see this? If I do this, can you guys see this? This like, come on. So these like grooved teeth over here, anytime you see on older cameras that there's like a semicircle with grooves on it, it's usually because your thumbs are supposed to press that, okay? So let me see if I can tilt this. So now, if I wanna take this off, it's actually really simple. You just push it, pull it off, and that's it. There's your ground glass. right? And this tape line right here was for when I would shoot the smaller instant film packs. So I knew what my frame line was for the instant film pack. And then I could frame up appropriately and then take the shot and know that exactly what the frame is instead of guessing. And I had a lot of different ground glass with different markings and different frame lines on it for a lot of different stuff. And it was really kind of a cool time, but it took you forever to get a shot down. Now, to put it back on with these right here, this semicircle with the groove on it, see how it pushes down? If you want to put it in, all you gotta do is line it up, push it, slide it down, and you're back. And this was where you put your film in and you get going, right? If I wanted to shoot horizontal, I had to take the entire back off and rotate it left or right, because this, unfortunately, is not what we call a revolving back, which is what Daniel Norton has. And Daniel, I still hate you. Now, Daniel's back is awesome because it's a revolving back, so you go horizontal or vertical on the fly really easily. But it also has a loop built into it, like it has a viewfinder on it, so you don't need to put a dark cloth on. Or what I used to use, not a dark cloth, I used to use black t-shirts with the big body opening over the camera and my head through the head hole. And that's really how I did this back in the day. So I was always a punk. Once a punk, always a punk, right? All right, so now we've got to change this back out to be GFX. Then I can plug in the GFX to the stream and you guys can look through this camera with me. We can get some shot, we can show what the focusing is doing on Quinn over here. And yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Are you guys into this so far? 93 people, 54 likes. Where you at? You guys into this or not? Come on. Are you not entertained? This was not easy to get here, by the way. This was a real pain. Daniel does not have a GFX. No, he's still shooting those small, large, full frame sensors, you know? I gotta tell you, this Kodak box for the lens is one of my prized possessions, though. Like I'm hoping this never dies. This is such a cool box. Oh, one last thing, while we're in the old camera mode, let me show you something about the lens really quick. If you wanted to set up strobes, okay? So with this camera, let me show you. Over here, let's pull this over. You had these, where are they? These posts over here, right? These posts would actually go to a sync cord that would be a double post. So I would put it on here and then run this sync cord, which the end was just a regular household plug. And that would go into my Speedotrons. However, look at how short this thing is. It wasn't getting anywhere. So all you needed to do back in the day, which was awesome, I still think it's just one of the coolest things. You could just take any extension cord, put your household into the household, and then there you go. Whatever extension cord goes right into your Speedotrons and you're good to go. So 2400 watt seconds, 4800 watt seconds. You know, you were pumping power through this thing. If you were stretching the bellows out, you're losing light pretty quick, right? So that was definitely a thing that happened. What happened here? Hold on a second, guys. I think one of these is backwards, I think. Oh no, I got it, never mind. I got it. Let me just push this up and tighten this. Sorry, guys. All right. Sorry, guys, I'm by myself. So, well, Daniel triggered the strobes from a manual Pro Photo remote to sync. So that's how we did that one. Yeah, people didn't plug them into sockets unless they had no idea what they were doing. But it was definitely a cool thing that you could just make your own sync cord out of like dollar store extension cords. I don't know, I just thought it was cool. I always thought it was fun. All right, let's adapt it. Yeah, let's talk about the adapter. If you remember, what's the light loss as you stretch the bellows out? I'll be honest with you, I don't remember. And I used to actually have a stick that you would put on top of the camera and it would show you how many stops of light you were losing as you were stretching out the bellows. So, you know, cheat codes are your friends sometimes, you know? Back, in my early days, everything was math. And then you just got lazier and lazier as the cameras just let you get that way. And today, we are gonna get so lazy because we're gonna shoot TTL strobe with this thing. Are you kidding me? So this is the only new part of this camera. This is made today by Fujifilm. It's also made by Photodiox, but theirs is like, it's all manual, like you actually kind of have to like tighten a knob to be where you want to be, whatever. Either way it'll work, but right here, you've got the actual lens mount that'll go on my camera. I have the ability to, where is it? Oh my God. You can revolve the camera so this becomes a revolving back. So it's horizontal or vertical, right on the fly. It's pretty cool. Then if you press this button here, you can do up or down another form of shift. If you want it, it's there. So pretty cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. All right, now let's put it on this camera, shall we? And we know how to do that now, right? We know how to do that now, right? So first of all, I'm gonna clean this out a little bit because I think this got a little bit, I know I'm gonna have to take that sensor for cleaning after this one. I know it. You guys better love this one. You better love this one, I'm telling you. All right, let's open up this. Actually, let me put this down first. I don't wanna drop anything, especially not ground glass. You never wanna drop ground glass, guys. All right, I'm gonna push this one little button down, slide this thing over, and voila. Got myself my Graflex. Oh, you know what? I did this wrong. See that? I'm a schmuck. You want to keep this on. You want to keep what this part is. This part is called graph lock. That's what I'm adapting. I'm so stupid. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm going to put this back on. Whatever, man. Live's live. What am I going to do? So that's on. I have to take the ground glass off. So we know how to do that. Slide it, pop it off. Now the graph lock is staying on here, right? So now, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is is this loose again? Oh no, it's the graph lock stays locked. It's focusing on Quinn because she's an actual face in the shot. There's the graph lock. Now, I'm gonna take the actual graph lock back and we're gonna slide it in there and we're gonna close these locks. And now, whoop, what happened here? What happened? Let me open this up all the way. Okay. Oh, you know what? Is it this way? Yeah, sorry, had it wrong. Now they're slid on there. Now it can't go off. That's right. Graflex is it's dedicated. Like one side is actually lower than the other, so it's actually kind of like a wedge almost. And there it is. Now we're gonna mount my new camera to this thing. Now you can get 4x5s of all different types. I mean, field cameras, GFX, wow, Graflexes. Wow, I'm sorry. And if you do get a Graflex, by the way, just know that when it's closed up, there's a secret button right by your right hand. There's a bump underneath the leatherette. That's the secret button to open it up. I see people break those cameras all the time. Don't, okay? So now, let's adapt my GFX. Let's do this. Before I adapt the GFX, I'm gonna put the grip on just because I think we're gonna wanna tether in and I keep my tether blocked to it at all times. So I have a free roaming camera and then I have a tether when I need it, right? By the way, it is so hot in here. I'm sorry if I'm sweating my brains out, guys. Is this cool? Are you guys into this? Everybody okay in there? All right, let's put this grip on. I got a fan next to me, so if you hear it, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the Graflexes are cool, man. They're probably as compact as you're gonna get for a 4x5. I have one that's converted to, what did I convert it to? I gotta take a look when I go home, I don't even remember. So now, we're going to line up the red to the red, and we're going to mount the camera. And that's it. I have a GFX on the back of a 4x5. So horizontal, vertical. You know what, actually? The back, so that's interesting. You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna keep the battery grip on because I think it's causing so much weight that it's not locking in fully when I do the vertical or horizontal. So you know what? I'm gonna take off the battery grip. I think it's a little too much weight for it. So Fujifilm, you might want to think about making this have a lock or something on it. Yeah, now it just stays in place, no problem. Okay, so now we know, right? Let's put this aside. We'll tether it in with a cable on its own. And now, but before I do that, I can actually just plug you guys into it and see what we get out of this. Let me get a strobe set up in some configurations so that we're just ready to shoot when we're ready. Let me just tighten everything down on this because I don't even know what I left not loose and all sorts of stuff. Let me see. Any questions, guys? You good? Could you use the shutter on the Bellows? There's really no point. If you were to do that, you would basically set up the camera to be open in bulb and then shoot the shutter, but it's not gonna change anything about your shot. You know what I mean? Like, about the only thing you're gonna get out of it is the leaf shutter because of the flash sync. Like, it won't have to be at any sort of, flash sync for a focal plane. But if you're shooting in a studio anyway, you're probably not gonna need that, right? So if you were to do that, you just have to find a way to keep this open and then let that open for the shot. So it would be bulb, shoot, tap this again to close it, and there's probably gonna be a few things that can go wrong if you're not careful. So let me put this on the side really quick. This tripod is not the tripod I would use for this, I'll be honest with you, but here we are, guys. I'm only hanging my entire life off the back of this thing. Let's set up the strobe on Quinn just so that part is over with. All right, I don't know how far she's gonna have to be, so I'm just gonna play it safe and put her farther than not. All right, put her like here maybe. And so if you guys wanna see how far away she's gonna be, this is roughly, not that one. This is roughly the distance, right? So I'm gonna be about here. So what are we talking about? 6, 12, maybe like 13 feet, give or take, 13 feet, maybe, depending where the lens ends up. I don't know. I'm not kidding you. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here with you guys. All right. You're making us debate getting a 4x5? Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that gets you like, you know what? I bet you could find one in a used department. Oh, and because they're so manual, like there's so much of you in between the shot and the frame, that you can do a lot of things. I've seen guys murder these cameras and just poke holes all over the bellows and do light leaks all over the place, which is stupid. But hey, you can do it, right? Or I've seen people stretch the bellows like crazy to pull a vignette in one side of the frame. Remember, it's upside down and backwards, so you're really putting that quote unquote vignette where you want it to be, right? Or, you can obscure the exposure plane, like something in front of where the film goes or whatever. You could do something. You could put a stencil in there, right? You could put a star stencil in there and see what happens. I don't know, but you can do it. Like it's kind of the fun of this kind of stuff, and I think that's why it's so alluring to people that actually shoot. And it's funny because no matter how many people I run into in this industry, if they've been doing it a long enough time, they've either owned or still own some sort of large format, right? So it's one of these formats that it's just awesome, and it's not that hard to get a hold of. And you'd be surprised how many like random one-of-a-kind homemade things are still out there that some grandfather did and is stuck in a basement that they're just getting rid of at a garage sale or whatever. What was I doing? Oh, strobe. Strobe, baby. Let's do it. This way we don't have to think about the light, we're just worrying about the camera. So I'm gonna use a ProPhoto B10X Plus, 500 watt seconds, and I'm gonna use a beauty dish because why not? Oh. Okay, I'm not ignoring you guys, I'm just working over here. I know I'm so far away from where you guys normally are, right? Let me see if I can change angles to here. So I'm gonna just make sure it's out of the way. I'm hoping that we're getting the frame we want here, because I really don't know how much this crop is gonna look. I know what that camera looks like. I don't know what that camera looks like this cropped in. You know what I'm saying? So let's, first of all, what is going on here, Seth? Have you never mounted a beauty dish? Is this your first day, Seth? What are we doing? What are we doing? 500 watt seconds should be plenty. Don't forget, guys, we're controlling the ISO on this camera, right? And the ISO on this camera can get pushed pretty good. It's medium format. So I don't have to worry so much about how much power I'm putting out, because I'm not stuck at a certain ISO. Like Daniel, when he did the paper negatives, he was stuck at 8 ISO. That's what that paper was. But here, the thing we're exposing can variable. How cool is that? This is awesome. All right, let me put a light on her so that we can see what we're doing. Let me turn on this camera. Let me see what we're doing here. Oh my God, this is just nuts, guys. I'm trying to find a camera angle that makes sense for this. Does this work? No. Let me see if this works. Oh, where are you, Quinn? Where are you? Oh, you know what? We're pretty good. I'm just gonna have to raise, okay. I'm gonna do this with you guys fed into it, okay? So you guys are gonna look through this camera with me. Oh boy, here we go. What could go wrong, guys? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Is this the folding beauty dish they asked about? Yes. No, this is not the folding beauty dish. I went with the tried and true classic OG, best ever silver beauty dish that I personally really, really like. So let's, first of all, there's too many cables. It's amazing how many cables there are in like an almost analog demo here, right? All right, so let's go into the HDMI. At some point, I am gonna have to get a tether cable in here. Actually, before I get crazy, let me go get the USB cable. Are you guys okay in the chat? Is there any questions? If you're new here, hit subscribe. The whole reason I'm doing these is so that you guys can be a part of this channel, and the best way to be a part of it is to hit subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for joining me here today. You guys know I appreciate you. You know I appreciate you. Let me take this off. Hopefully we don't run into any issues. All right, so I got a tether cable in case I need it. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in here. All right, so let's do this horizontally so that it doesn't look ridiculous. And let's look for, where is Quinn, right? So I know where I am here. Let me lift, first of all, let me zero out the camera. What I mean by zero out the camera is I'm gonna lift the stanchions to be even so they're at 0, so they can go either up or down. That way we're not jammed to either side. Right now, one of them is completely on the bottom, so let's fix that. So this is at stanchion 1, position 1 I should call it actually. And we're gonna just get a rough focus. So that's a rough focus. I don't even know what that is. That looks like, what am I looking at? That looks like the projector, maybe? So where are you, Quinn? There she is. Oh, I think I see her, guys. I think I see her. So let's tilt this a little. Why is this fighting me so much? There we go. Okay, there she is. Look at her. Oh, there's my girl. Now we got to focus on her, right? Now we got to make sure. Let's get a focus on her. What's cool is I have the focus. Oh my God. I can't remember what it's called. You know, when it shows you the red lines when something's in focus. Wow, I'm blanking on the dumbest stuff today. All right, let's tilt this so that we get a shot on Quinn. This is not the tripod for this, guys. I'm gonna say that real. So it's looking pretty tight. Wow, this is, what I can do is just take the front and lower the front of the camera instead of worrying about the tripod so much. And now I've got, I think I want to go lower. I think it's a little bit of a nyeh shot. Let's do that. I think I even want to go closer. You guys want to go? I think we should go even closer, personally. Focus peaking. Thank you. Jeez. What do you set the GFX as a focal length for IBIS? Good question, good question. So the first thing you gotta do inside the Fujifilm cameras, and this is any Fujifilm that you're gonna shoot with a vintage lens that has no CPU in it. You have to go into your menu setting. I'll show you. Can you see the menu? You guys can see the menu? Shoot without lens. That's what you wanna have set on your camera. So you go to the wrench and you go to button dial settings and you go shoot without lens, boom. Now your camera will actually fire regardless if something is mounted on there, but even more importantly, it'll work with a all manual lens, you know? No, there's nothing on her ear. There's touch-up paint, and by paint I mean whiteout. So she has a rough time in here sometimes. We could go even closer than this. Let's go a little closer. Let's do that. And then you start seeing like just how shallow this gets. Like is the focus peaking showing on the stream? I don't know. This is not the tripod for this. I'm almost thinking I should swap this tripod out. You guys all right if I swap this tripod out? Is that cool with you guys? I think it's only smart if I do that. Because I think we're gonna get this bounce forever and a day. This is rough. Let me swap the tripod out. This one has more of a, it's not a ball head, but it has more of a, oh, you know what? I can't, this is the wrong, I can't. All right, we're sticking with this tripod, guys. We're sticking with it, sorry. Oh my God, who used this? Why does it have it has the wrong size thread on it, so I can't use it. Okay. Well, we're gonna make this happen regardless, so. This is some things you've gotta consider when you're using something this off balance from a center point, right? So now we go into this, right? Look how shallow we can get, right? Is there anything I can do to this? Why is it so, wait a second. Let me see if I can do a quick MacGyver here. That's a little better. Let me see. Let me see if this helps out. All right. Where are you, Quinn? Where are you, Quinn? Okay. So, let's go back to this. That's just her lips, right? If I take the front, actually, can I change? I tell you, let me see if I can change camera angle so you can see what I'm even doing. All right, so let's go to camera 2, see if that helps out. So remember I said leave the back stagnant until you need to touch it, but you always have the front to mess with before anything, right? Like the less you mess with, the less that's variable, the more likely you're gonna succeed here, all right? So now we can really dial in what we're doing, right? Tighten it down. Yeah, this tripod's awful, guys, I'm sorry. And then we can just really dial in. You guys see the focus peaking right on our eyeball? Right on that, pretty wild, right? Now this is without the exposure, this is with without the exposure preview. So this is what we're really shooting in. So we're at f6.3, a shutter speed of 1/25th, 1/60th, 200th, at ISO 200. We're still seeing a little bit of her. Now, let's put on the strobe and let's see what we get. Maybe I don't even have to tether, I can just shoot from the card maybe. Right? So let's do this. Actually, let me put on the IBIS and see if that helps out. It should be smart enough not to freak out on me here. I'm trying to remember, I never turn it off, so I never remember where it is. So let me get you guys out of the menu. You guys okay in there? What would be the focal length? So the focal length, 28 millimeter, and then times that by 1.7. What is that, like somewhere near 50 or somewhere? Shows how much I do math now, right? I'm so good at the math, guys. But figure it's a 28mm full frame. Now it's on a medium format. If you do that conversion, where is it in my quick menu? I didn't put it in my quick menu because I'm so awesome. Sorry guys, I should have been a little better prepared for this, but the tripod I used at home was like solid as a rock, and I should have brought that with me, but I didn't because I figured we have a ton of tripods here. I just didn't figure I'd be running into this issue, really. Okay, here we go. Let's see if that helps out at all. Okay, so now the stabilization is on. It's only gonna do so much. Let's see what happens when we turn on our strobe. Turn on the strobe. Oh, tell me my battery just went dead in the strobe, because that would be amazing. Okay, cool. Let's turn this on. Let's go to group A. Turn that modeling light on and off. All right, let's take a TTL shot. Sorry, the flash sync is 1/25th. So we take that shot, and now, oh, what just happened here? What just happened here? Did I just lose you guys? Did I just lose you guys? It's not gonna play through the camera? Are you kidding me? Hang on a second. All right, I tell you what. Let's tether in. Man, hold on, there's gotta be a way, hang on. What is going on with the HDMI setup now? Oh, come on, where's my HDMI? User setting. Sorry guys. That should just be screen setup. Image display, playback magnification, display custom settings. Oh my God, I'm sorry guys. This is embarrassing. Sub monitor settings, stills mode. So it won't play. It won't play a feed from, where is it trying to play it? Huh. This is not playing nice with my stream setup. That's the big problem. Okay. Let's settle this once and for all. I'm gonna do a few tilt shift focusing things in real time so you can see it, but we're gonna tether in so we can really look at what we're shooting, okay? But just realize, I just shot TTL. I just shot TTL on a 4x5. Like, this is awesome. This is so awesome. Let me see. I can't believe it won't display. Huh. It's not talking. It just does not talk. So let's tether in. Let's get that going. That's the reason I pulled the tether cable out. You guys okay in there? I'm sure somebody that shoots 4x5 every day is gonna be like, oh, you should know this and do this and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yo, chill out, okay? We're just having fun here. Relax. We're all friends. We're all friends here. Okay. Let's at least in real time take a look at what tilt shifts do, okay? So we're focused on the corner of our eye, right? Let me see if this comes up. Okay, we're focused on the corner of our eye, right? Well, if I take the tilt shift and I swing it, right? I just, look at that. I can actually, now I'm focusing on her far eye. You see that on the right? Now I'm focusing on her right ear, and now I'm swinging it again, I'm focusing on her left ear. You guys see that? And that's just with, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm even doing. Maybe I'll do 4. Will this work out? No. 4? No. 2? Does 2 work? So you can just twist it left or right and change your focus. Now let's say I want that. Now I can focus again, and now all I have is the right corner of her eye. So I can really warp out and mess with my depth of field and what is my depth of field. And don't forget, you've got even more stuff to move around here. I mean, I can tilt it up and down too, not just left and right. So that's her eyes. Then we can go after her lips, right? Go up for her eyes, right there, and go down to her lips right there. But the thing is, you're gonna get a depth of field that doesn't feel natural because you're really working it, because you're changing the angle plane of the exposure plane, right? It's no longer flat to flat. It's no longer flat lens to flat film. Now we're able to warp and bend it. And now when you can do this, frame up, refocus, and do whatever you want to do. This will also change things like right angles, straight lines. And what is that good for? Architecture, geometrics, tabletop, product. How many times you guys shot a product and it's a box that looks like it's getting narrow towards the top? All you got to do is really play with the tilt shift, and you get yourself into a zone that is what you want out of the shot. So the tilt shifts are awesome. And with 4x5, you just have so much room to do it, so much room to play. We can tilt this thing down, shift it over that way, let's see, and let's refocus it while it's like this. And now, look at how weird that depth of field is. Like it's like the corner of her nose and her lip, right? See, it's like the far corner of her mouth. Close corner of her mouth. And like on the far side of her nose too. Kind of wild, right? And you have all this ability. I mean, we are cropped in though. I gotta say, I have gotta be probably 10 feet away from her, and I'm basically on her mouth. Let's get crazier. Let's get crazier and see if I can focus like straight up right into her, right? So let's first of all, I'm gonna straighten out all my stuff. Remember, we're gonna go back to 0, take away the variables, right? Go back to 0 on the tilt shift. Push it in there. Let's see. Of course, every shake and movement is gonna be exaggerated now, but look at this. Now, I'm not even that close to her, and I'm just on her mouth. And if I wanted to not move anything and get her eyes, I can do that because I can shift up, right? And now we focus on that. So one side of this wheel is the focus, the other side locks the wheel. But look at that, right there, right? But look, guys, we still have about actually almost 9 inches of rail left in movement. So I can go even closer than this. Well, let's try it. Let's see how much HDMI cable I have first of all, because I'm running out of that. Hang on. Before I have like a really big problem here. Oh, this is gonna get messy really quick, but let's see what happens. So now I'm right up on her and I'm stretching out these bellows. We might be too close. Let me see, back up. Yep, we're too close. Okay, so I'm at max on the front bellow, but that means I have my back to fall back on, and I'm looking at her earlobe, right? Let's see if we can get that eyeball in there. Something that's coherent, right? Let's see if we can get that eyeball. No, it's in there. It's over here. Let's see if we can get it to focus now. Oh, man, we are maxed out. This is the entire bellows, guys. This is the entire bellows. That is a macro shot of her eyeball. And I can just TTL shoot that thing, bang, right? Kind of crazy. This is how the HDMI port gets broken. Yeah, basically. Yeah, right? That's basically what happened. But look at how stretched out these bellows are to get, right? Look at this. Look at this. This is a 14-inch rail, not 14-inch rail. This is how long is this rail actually? Let's find out. This is it's a 14-inch lens, I'm sorry. 14-inch lens, 30-inch rail. So we have a 30-inch bellow being stretched out. The strobe is at 5.8 because it's right close on her. She's also painted white. And we're on TTL, and we are able to get this tight on her. I mean, that is her eyeball. Let's tether in, and let's see what these shots actually look like, right? All right, so I'm gonna take this out, save ourselves some HDMI. I'll put it into here, and let's take a USB cable. You guys okay in there? Everything cool? I know this is like a really, probably not even practical one, but it's cool to know that this is you're able to do this. And it's cool that Fujifilm is like, you know what? I think it's important if we give the photographers these tools to be able to do this. This is modern. This G-mount adapter is not Frankenstein, homemade, nothing. This is from Fujifilm. That is cool. That is a company philosophy, a brand philosophy I will get behind all day, guys. All right, so this was what we shot last time. Let me make sure I'm getting my tether in. So this is what we shot last time, right? Let me make sure I keep an eye on you guys. This is what we shot last time. Now, just with TTL on, let me just check my white balance. We're on daylight white balance. And don't forget, like, all my focusing is on this camera, right? So I'm just gonna dial it here, and let's take a look at what we get. Okay, boom. That is I mean, I'm shaking and wobbling here, so let me try to make this more stable. Let me get this more stable, but we're in there. So let's see what we get here. Actually, you know what I should do is put it on a timer so that there's no shake, because even the shutter is shaking this. That's what's happening also. So let's get this really focused. I mean, just so you guys have an idea of how shaky this is, look at this. This is just from me near it. So this is not the tripod. This is not the droids you're looking for, guys. All right? Let's see if I can make this like super stable. Also, we're so magnified, right? Every little movement is exploding. So what's probably smarter to do here is not do this shot and back up. But we're already here, so let's try it out. What I should do is put it on a timer. This is what I should do. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can put it on electronic first and mechanical second or something like that. Or mechanical, shutter type mechanical. We'll do mechanical electronic. Let's see if this works. Let's take a look. Yeah, this tripod's shaking, dudes. Also, there's a good possibility that this lens might not resolve on 100 megapixels that easy. There's also that ability also. Keep in mind, this wasn't really made for this, right? Let's try hedging my bets and backing up a little bit. And by backing up, we now know that we got to shrink those bellows, right? So I'm going to start with the back because it's so stretched out. And I'm going to shrink the front, and let's drop the front down. I'll give you guys an idea of what I'm doing. Let's drop the front down. Right there. This is not the tripod. This is not the tripod to do this with, guys. I apologize. Let's see what we get here. Let's see what we get. Yeah. You see that fall off, how beautiful that fall off is? It's a ton of magnification. I mean, it's still magnified, and I am now about 8 feet away from her, and the bellows have shrunken by half. So if I pull back a little more, because remember, we're not zooming when we're moving the camera. We're only focusing when we're moving the camera. The lens stays the same. We're just changing. It's a prime. If you think about it, this is just a prime lens, right? Let me drop this down. Let's craft this shot. Let me see something here. I'm gonna put on the timer so that I'm not touching it. Hit OK. I'm gonna put it on for 2 seconds because I'm a psychopath, why not? Let's take a look at this through the live view. Okay. And I'm just gonna focus this like right on that eye right there. So that was using the timer so that I'm not touching the button. And that's a lot sharper to me, geez. Look how beautiful, really beautiful images here. Let me do it on 10 seconds, see what happens here. Because maybe there's still shake going on. Let's do it for 10 seconds. And don't forget how crazy shallow this is. Also, I should stand still too, by the way. One, beep. Let's take a look. That's with a 10-second timer. I mean, I'm looking at all the texture in that paint, right? We can also close down the lens, so let's do that. I'm gonna close down the lens from 6.3 to maybe around 7. You know what, let's go to f8. Let's do f8. We've got enough, we have enough leeway on the light. We're only at 4.3 on the light. We've got almost 7 stops of light left in that light. So let's use it. Let's close down, because then the lens, in theory, might be sharper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. And this is at f8. And we're starting to see that depth of field shrink down a little bit, right? Let's close it down further. Let's see what happens when we go and crank this down to about past f11. Why? Why not? I'm just gonna refocus just in case. Lock it down. Why not shoot it from capture 1? You know what? That's not a bad idea either, man. So, it's still on the timer, but we're firing it from capture 1 now, which is pretty cool. You're firing a 4x, well, it's not a 4x5 anymore, but still pretty cool. F11. Look at that. All that texture on the white paint. There's that soft fall off on the nose. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at all that. Let's go crazier. Look, it's still shallow. At f11, it's still shallow, right? So let's go down to 16. This can go down to f90, by the way, just so you understand how much this leaf shutter can close down. Let's do 22, why not? Let's go to 22. Let's see what happens. There are 4x5 sensors, yeah. There's large format digital backs. Let's see what happens here. No shade Quinn, but I would like to see the result on a living model. Yeah, and you also deal with the variable of the living model moving back and forth outside of the focus plane as well. I'm also shooting JPEG and RAW for some reason. I don't know why I'm doing that, but this is at f22. And you can see just like all that micro texture coming out, right? You see every dent in the paint. But keep in mind, we're shooting f6, we're shooting what did I say we're shooting at? f22. We're shooting f22 at 100 ISO with TTL strobe. TTL strobe. That should do a self-portrait. I don't think I can. I don't think I'd be able to do that because I won't be able to see what's happening, to be honest with you. I tell you what I'll do. Here's how, okay, you wanna see me try this? Here's what I'm gonna do. This is for Brad, because Brad is such an OG member of this community. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take a C-stand and I'm gonna put it in front of Quinn. I'm gonna put it approximately where I think my face will be. I'll line my face up with where the frame is, which is her face, but I'm gonna focus on this, can you guys see me? Am I blocked? I'm totally blocked, aren't I? Let me go up to 4. Nope, that's 3, that's 5, that's 3, that's 4. Okay, I'm gonna put the C-stand here. I'm gonna focus on the C-stand here, and I will then walk into place for it, okay? So let's focus on that C-stand, right? Let's do that. I'm gonna focus from the front. And right about there, I'm gonna say. Give or take right about there, right? Now I just gotta make sure my eyes are in the plane of that handle, right? So let's shut that off. Let's move this out of the way, right? And then let's hit the timer and run in there like an idiot. 10 seconds to go. Let's see if I can do this. I know, I'm sorry, Quinn. Not even close, but my glasses are sharp. Huh? All right, so now I gotta get my face further over. Okay, so let's try that again. This is ridiculous. Brad, I'm never gonna forget this. I want you to know that. Okay, all right, so there's my leather face, right? Eyebrow focus, glasses focus. So I'm just a little bit off. That means I've got to lean a little bit forward to get my eyes in there, but there's my disgusting, horrible skin, guys. How's that for sharp? Look at that. Look at that. Every scratch on my glasses is coming up. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let's see if I can get my eyeball in there. And I'm probably gonna have to lift my head up a little bit. Actually, maybe, yeah, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. Let's try this one more time. Oh, the live view doesn't work? I thought the live view worked. Whatever. I thought the live view was gonna work. I'm completely out now. Completely out. Yeah, I'm completely out. This is the best one I got. And it's like eyebrow focus. I got my glasses basically. And my nose. All right, let's try it one more time. Oh, God. Brad, I hate you. I hate you so much. Oh, whoa, look at that. I did one of my signature half faces by accident, but I totally missed on the focus here because my Wolverine face is what's is sharp. All right, let's try. I'm gonna try backing up this camera a little bit, to be honest, and I'm gonna try refocusing. All right, let's try that. Let me try refocusing so that I really have an idea of what's going on here. Whoops, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna put a mark down. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a piece of tape down where that knob is so I know where my face plane has to be. New word, face plane, face plane. A photo store, no one can push a button. Oh, that's rough. Don't even start that. All right, let me see. That's not bad. Let's focus on this knob really quick. Shoot. All right, I'm gonna focus on this knob. Okay, that's looking okay. Nah, I really wanna make sure I get it. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, I forgot to put the tether on. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see what happened. So close, so close. Let's raise the stanchion, right? So we know what we're trying to do, right? We're gonna raise that stanchion, right? Because we have the ability, it's 4x5, right? So let's do that. this will change the focus plane a little bit, but I also don't know where the hell I'm going, guys, so there's that. You're killing me with this. This is only for you, Brad. I will never do this again. All right. Let's see. Oh, what do I got? What do I got? I got eyebrow focus again. This is not easy, guys. This is not easy. This is not easy. What am I gonna do here? All right, I tell you what. I'm gonna lower this stanchion a little bit. Number one. Number two, the focus is in front of my eyes, so I'm gonna lean in a little bit more. This is so ridiculous. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is what these streams are gonna be, guys? Is that what these streams are gonna be? Oh my God, way off. Way off. Although, now you can see my amazing ear. Look at how beautiful my ear is, guys. So now all those models, when I zoom in on their faces, they can't complain. I just did it to myself, all right? Raise the bar, Seth, use the Bellows shutter and trigger. No, I'm not, I don't want to use the, because then in order to make this happen that way, I have to fire the strobe from the leaf shutter, and I don't have a manual remote with me, so that's not gonna happen, all right? What I think I'm gonna do though, is I'm gonna back this up and give myself a little bit more of a fighting chance, so it's not just like my eyeball, you know? And I'm gonna focus on Quinn, just so I have an idea of what is even happening here. Let's tilt this down a little bit. Okay, and then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw the stand back in, refocus, because I think just giving myself the, I think just giving myself like a little breathing room. All right, I'm gonna pull this up. Stop it, get some help. No, no, this is the fun part. This is the part where we're not taking serious photos. We're using logic in a situation, and we're gonna mess around until we get something that's cool. Why not? Yeah, Brian, I'm gonna have to ask you to watch it on those comments, all right? Let's do this. All right, let's focus on that. Let's focus on that. Let me see, where am I? Let me zero this out. Let me move this over. Let me focus on this. I'm gonna focus on the Avenger on the actual knob. Yeah, right there is pretty good. All right, let's just throw caution to the wind and see what happens here. Not bad. Not bad, not too bad, not too bad. Still just the corner of my glasses. I can't getting the eye is just not easy, guys. Let me see if I can do this while I'm looking at the live view. Is this counting down? It is counting down, okay. Let's see what happened here. I guarantee you that one's not sharp. Yeah, I could feel that one wasn't sharp. So where is the focal plane? The focus plane. I'm off by like 1/4 of an inch, guys. I'm off by like 1/4 of an inch, no joke. Let me see. So there's this. Let's see what happens. How ridiculous. Oh, wait a second. By the narrowest of margins, man. I'm so close in there, it's not even funny. Millimeters off. But don't forget, guys, we are at f22. That's how shallow this is. f22, my glasses are in focus, my eyeball's not. by my nose plane, by my nasal labial fold, as we call them. Sharp. Eyeball. Eyeball, not so much. Millimeters. Millimeters off. And that's still f/22. It's crazy. I'm going to lower this a little bit because why not? The only thing I can't see from the tether what is in focus or not in focus. That's the thing that's driving me a little nuts. F90, do F90? F90, I don't think we can, guys. We're officially at 10 on the strobe. I don't think we're gonna get it. In fact, that battery needs to get changed, believe it or not. So there's that. Actually, what time am I at? Whoa, I am way over time, guys. How long is this stream gonna go on for? You guys are letting me do this. I'm way over time. I still gotta get this camera back to Brooklyn. Come on now. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Come on. Forget about it. Hey, what are we doing? Let me just triple check the focus plane that I'm in. So, all right, so that's that. Let me do this. Let me focus on, I'm gonna focus on the back of the knob this time, because if I'm getting sharper front, I'm gonna focus behind what I was focusing on and see what happens, all right? So let's see what we get here. Bingo. Let's do this. Let's see what we got. Man, I was way off completely now. What is in focus here? What is even in focus here? What is even in focus here? I'm gonna go back to my original plan of focusing on the knob. I know you guys didn't see that shot. There's literally nothing in focus. All right, let's do this. Lock this down. Let me see what's going on here. Put you guys in. Take a shot. No idea. No idea. What is going on here, man? I have no idea, because there's nothing coming up. I wonder if I'm running into flash duration issues, to be honest. That looks like blur to me, not out of focus. So this looks like a flash duration issue at this point. Probably because the tripod's so shifty, you know? Let me see what happens here. So this is, whoa, that's off. Okay, this is just getting embarrassing now. Let me refocus one last time, take one more try at it, and that's it. We're out of here. I can't keep doing this all day. And this is getting ridiculous. Let's take a look. That's focused, man. That's in focus. Everything's zeroed out. Everything's zero, zero, tight. Okay. I'm going to open up my aperture actually so that the flash has less power, which means that it will not have to worry about having a longer duration, right? So we're opening up. Hopefully we ease up the strobe a little bit as far as the duration goes, because we're cranking the hell out of it for no reason, because that's what we do, right, guys? Okay. I think I'm completely out of focus on that one. Yeah, completely out of focus on that one. I could actually see that when I was on the monitor. You could actually see how sharp I was. I have no idea. I'm trying to see on the monitor. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can pull this closer to me, and then I can actually see what's happening here. Let me see if we can do that. Because then I can actually see what's in focus and what's not, right? So if I go here, it's not that much resolution out of this thing to, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's try it. That's a sharp eyelash, guys. What now? What? Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a sharp eye. What? Oh, tell me. What? It's all right, you can kiss the ring later when you guys come here in person, it's fine. What? Come on now. Come on now. Are you not entertained? Look at all that eye gunk that you're seeing in real time. Come on. Look.
Yeah, that's sharp.
Come on. I'm still alive. I don't care. Who cares? It's a store. We're allowed to be, whatever. Tell me. All right, let's try to get a better frame though, right? It's a 60-year-old lens. Did you say this is 60 years old? This is 60? I don't think this is 60.
This is on the eyelash? Yeah, this is at least, this is from like mid to early 60s.
So the guy from Used, do you want to come on here? No. Okay, he doesn't want to come on here, but my man from the Used department is telling me that this is a lens from the 60s, so a 60-year-old lens. So not bad, resolving on a 102 megapixel current modern sensor, right? Let's do one more, because now I'm like in it, because I hate when I figure it out towards the end and then we're kind of getting out of here. So let's see what we get here. All right, so that didn't feel good. I was looking at that. I was still looking. That didn't feel good at all. Actually, get out of here. Did I get that one? That's eyelashes, guys. That's close. I just want to get a better frame than that. So let's back this up so that I can get a little bit more real estate on there, right? Just a little more real estate. Let's see what we're getting here. Right? So let's see what we're really getting here, okay? So now I have Quinn's whole head, right? If I focus her, a little bit, right? I think I'm gonna put I don't know why I'm still doing this. I have no idea why I'm still doing this. No idea. Let's put this in the frame. Let me focus on it. If you guys are still with me, I appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe. And that's what this is what this stream is gonna be, guys. It's like whatever I feel like doing, that's what we're doing. So get used to it. Let me see if this is a good frame. Not bad. All right, so let's get, can you also adapt the front of the camera to take newer lenses? I mean, there's really not a mount. It's a lens board. So whatever lens that would go in that board is really what you're looking for. You know, the copal size and all that. I feel like that was off. That felt really off. Yeah, that was really off. Hold on. Am I on the right mark? Is that in focus? That's in focus on that mark. Okay, so this is in front of the tape. Okay, let's try that. Let's see what happened here. That felt like my glasses were sharp. No, not even my glasses, I don't think. Not even the glasses. It's a little bit of a, what? We're at 6.3 on the strobe, so this is not going to be a duration issue, right? Let's see what we can do here. That's a sharp eye, guys. That's a sharp eye. Boom. Could you put a microscope on the lens board? I have no idea, dude. You killed me on this one. If you can see the chat, we can tell you when you're in focus. Yeah, but you guys are on a delay. So like as I'm slowly moving, you're telling me like 15 seconds later that I was in focus, you know what I mean? I do want a better frame though. I don't want all that forehead. So I'm gonna lower the lens board down just a hair. And let's see. Let's see. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh my God, I'm like a millimeter out, guys. That's like a millimeter out. I also hate this shot, and I'm not gonna use it for anything, so why am I killing myself to get it? But I did get a sharp eyeball somewhere, didn't I? I don't know where, but I got a sharp eyeball there and somewhere else I remember. I don't remember where. There it is. That's kind of fun. Little double eye happening there. All right, this went way over time. This is doing stuff that makes no sense to me. Oh, guys, don't forget to hit subscribe. We need to grow this channel. And that's the whole reason I'm going live every Monday that I can for you guys, because I think we do a ton of stuff where it's to everybody in the crowd, but we don't do it to you guys, right? Like you guys are kind of like an afterthought with a chat. This is just for you guys. There is no in-room audience aside from Shoba, who's always here for me. But come hang out at the store if you're in New York. This is the last stream of the year. We're going hard next year, you know. But this channel, we've got demos from Joe McNally, multiple demos from Lindsay Adler, Ab Cisse, myself. There's a lot of amazing people on here. So do me a favor and just stick with this channel. Hit the bell so you know when we go live. You're going to want to jump in there. This was just something that like I saw that was possible and I was like, let's do it. The craziest thing is that you can shoot video this way. So imagine doing talking heads and while you're filming, you're moving the depth of field around. That's cool, man. Not just back to far to near, but around things. And that is cool, right? So it's just a really cool thing that I found and I was like, let me pick it up. Huge thanks to Fujifilm for even making this thing and realizing that, hey, we need, they realize that this is what photographers do. They mix and match tools to get weird things to happen that they want to have happen, right? So this is breathing new life into older equipment. Like we said, this is a 60-year-old lens and it's resolving pretty okay on a medium format, 102 megapixel modern sensor, if you ask me. Not on this disgusting face of mine, but you know, it is what it is. So look, thank you guys so much for joining me on this one. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next one. That's kind of the fun of these. But Mondays, I might switch these to noon. We're gonna see, I'm sorry, later today, 5 o'clock, I'm sorry. Jeff Carpenter, another amazing educator. He's going to be doing a demo on, I think, headshots or beauty shots, something like that. He's next at 5 o'clock. So I'm probably eating into his time already. Have a great New Year, everyone. I hope I see you in these seats, in this store, or in this chat room. I'll be at Imaging USA at the end of January, and I'll be at WBI in Vegas, Shutterfest in St. Louis. I got a bunch of other trips coming up that you're going to be seeing videos from, but hit subscribe on this channel, Adorama TV. Follow all the social stuff. You can follow me at, I totally forgot about myself. I'm here pitching this place. I don't even care about myself anymore. Go to this QR code for events and go and follow me on that. I got a bunch of videos on my channel, and I'm going to be putting out some new stuff on my channel soon. Simple headshots from Jeff Carpenter and Capture One. So that's good. If you guys have any Capture One questions, there's the stream, 5 o'clock. Stay on this channel, hit the bell. You're not going to want to miss him either. If you missed last week's stream, we did edge mask Fresnel lenses. Go check that one out. That one was cool too. This was just kind of like I don't know. Let's throw some stuff against the wall and see what happens, right? Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys in 2025. Be good to each other. Talk to each other in those comments. Share the stuff. We'll see you there, right? But just remember, it's up to you to make all of this better, and it's up to yourself to make yourself better. You make your own opportunities, and it's up to you to get yourself to level up. Don't buy the hype. Invest in yourself. All this education stuff and everything is free for you, so come hang out, all right? So about an hour and a half, you'll see Jeff Carpenter on here, and I will see you in 2025. Be good, guys. Later. Oh.